Welcome everyone to Walks with Mohen episode 4. 4 I believe it is, yeah. So what started with just speaking on the value of walking has now become one of my favorite parts of the day. And some days I don't do the recording, obviously, like I'll walk around and just enjoy it for the moment. But I don't know if you can see, I live in a absolutely gorgeous area, full of trees, full of life, full of chilled people, and yeah, so it's cool that we that we get to share that experience. In terms of what I'm going to be talking about today, I would like to discuss just a journey of transformation, right? And I think it's going to tie into the FTE, which is a entrepreneurial concept that's existed for a while, and it's basically the F this event, right? I don't know how old people are watching this, but yeah. So essentially what it is reaching your breaking point, reaching the point at which you're saying, I would no longer accept this either of myself or of my circumstances. And it happens to a lot of people who work, 9-to-5 job, a lot of people who are studying, a lot of people who are working towards a route that they don't feel is for them, right? And you know what, it's tough. It really, really is tough. And if you're doing something that is not for you, whether you thought it was for you from the beginning, there's a random feather here, I don't know if you can see it, but look at that. Crazy. Okay, and another one. I wonder what left that. That is crazy. I don't know if it's a leaf or feather. Okay, anyways, yeah, so the FTE is when you say enough is enough and you decide to go all in on something, whether it's a business, whether it's picking up a program, whether it's a course, whether it's buying, I don't know, every book on a subject and trying to become the expert on that, whether it's, leaving a job, whether it's traveling, whether it's just taking the time for yourself to get the life that you want. And for me, this was a while ago, and it was because I was feeling dispassionate about work life. And what happened was I was then putting pressure on my relationship, and in that relationship, there was just a lot of pressure on the people, on the person that I was with. And if you're dispassionate about what you're giving 8 hours of your life to, it's gonna be painful. It's gonna suck your soul out. So if you're in uni and you haven't made a decision to that yet, deeply consider this, because that feeling of, maybe it sucks your soul out, but then you got other things, you'll get criticized on your work. You'll put in 3 days worth of work and maybe something will get reprioritized. It'll be mowed over and then you have to start again from scratch. And it's not the end of the world if that's the case. You have to start from scratch, that's fine. But over time that eats at you. So this is the common thing, and it's a human behavior. I like the entrepreneurial word of FTE, or acronym. But I think it's important to note, because there's a lot of men who go through a midlife crisis, and this is exactly the same thing. Maybe it's more channeled to entrepreneurship now, but at least in growing up, there were a lot of these concepts of, he's just going through a midlife crisis. He's gonna buy a motorcycle and travel across the world. No, he's not. He's just living his life. He's realized that he's given a lot of attention to things that aren't important. And in doing so, he's costing they say that's the most important resource that we have is time. He's put so much time towards that, and now he's thinking, I want to have something for myself. Is it so wrong to have something for yourself that now it must be a midlife crisis? Like, it's not even a crisis, it's just doing what you want. It's man experiencing freedom for the first time, and first time since maybe he was 18, before he realized that he was getting sucked into a journey of chasing money and taking on responsibilities that cost more than he can handle. So yeah, I think if you're on this journey, if you're finding FTE coming up in your life, don't feel like it's out of your reach. Don't feel like it's a midlife crisis. It's just the start of something beautiful. Whether you buy a motorcycle and drive around the country for like 3 days, doesn't matter. If it leads to you meeting one person who tells you about one idea, and you start a business and you do something that you're really passionate about and you make a lot of money, then I mean, hey man, it's your life. Like, that sounds like there's massive benefit, and that beats sitting in any meeting any day for 2 hours just to go over something that, you know, that started like 2 weeks ago, and then because of some political issue it's starting up again. Life is too short for that. My grandfather once said, life is like an ice cream and you got to enjoy it before it melts. And that man, his only advice to everything around him was, you got to use, like he didn't, these are not his words, but everything he said was encouraging you to experience life. Well, it was encouraging me to experience life. Everyone around me, he was encouraging them to travel, to go and enjoy life. He was a teacher, so you can imagine the struggle with cash and everything. And the teaching was the peak because he came from a different background. And that's just one of my grandparents that came from a difficult background, that overcame things. So really, we all got our journeys, whether we're coming from extreme poverty, whether we're coming from, you know, like a decent amount of wealth, but we're trying to prove it for ourselves that we deserve this. There is that like fight in all of us, and I don't think anyone should down talk anyone else's story, but in your own story you have to start. And the pain that you're feeling, whether it's driving to work, whether it's repetition, whether it's feeling stuck in a loop, whether it's studying, use that to get yourself to start something new that you actually care about. And follow like your intuition, follow your like heart. You know, if you go to some event that you wouldn't usually go to, you meet one person, that's all it takes, one person with one idea, and they guide you down a route or path that will absolutely change your life, that maybe you only see the benefit in like 4 months. So be it. Give the 4 months and let it pass. If it falls away, that's fine. If it falls away, you would maybe feel like you wasted a certain sum of money, a certain you wasted a certain sum of money. You can always sell the bike. You can always, okay, of course you can't really get back, but sometimes you only see the benefit of that course 4 or 5 months later. That information will be with you forever, and at least it'll be a conversation point with someone else. It'll be a story that you share. It'll be your FTE. So think about that. What is yours? Comment down below if it was something that you've experienced before. If it's something that you know for a fact that you've experienced before, comment what it was. If you haven't experienced it yet, let me know what you think it may be, and really consider it. And if you do, come back to this video and just remember that this was the beginning of something.